A few years ago, our family was in transition looking for a church, which is never really a fun thing to do. But we live in Washington, and we were looking for somewhere that we could worship as a family that met the needs across the board for all the ages in our family, and where we could get plugged into vibrant spiritual life in the community. And South had a really great reputation for being actively involved and reaching out, and that was something that really appealed to us as a family. Came to second service. We knew that it was we'd done a little legwork. I had come in and talked to Seth and got a bulletin so I could see which was the service that would fit for us. And we showed up Sunday morning, great sermon, great worship experience, very friendly people, and felt very comfortable coming here to worship. It's easy here because it's a large church, and because there are lots of people here on a Sunday morning to come in the back door and slide into a seat and participate in the service, which is great, and shake hands and say hi to some very friendly people. And it's equally easy just to slide out the back door and go on about your Sunday afternoon and never really connect with the people who make SPBC what it is. You can kind of just slide in and slide out. And for a while we were okay with that because it was kind of comfortable. We went to a few other churches, all great churches, I'm sure doing great things, but the vibe was the same. We could slide in and slide out and recognize that really to connect was going to take some willingness on our part. SPBC opens its doors to a homeschool group that meets here on Tuesdays. I was in the building every week, and so I would see the staff, always very friendly. We always had conversations. I was very impacted without even realizing it. The people remembered my name and felt very at home and very welcome here, even though we left. It wasn't awkward at all that we had tried to make this kind of where we worshiped and had moved on in the process. I would still be in the building, and the staff was the same, treated me the same as they did when I was here every Sunday. So that was comfortable. But what I really realized is that the heart here is to use the resources here for ministry. So it impacted my family and my kids that we were being ministered to every week just by the use of the building. And so through being here and being comfortable being here, I had a few conversations with some people who are South attenders that I was friends with but didn't know very well at the time. And they encouraged me just to come back, to have an open heart about what God was doing here, and maybe ask more questions instead of just kind of hanging out. So as a result, I ended up having an email exchange with Pastor Ed, where I told him that we really kind of were wanting a microwave process. We wanted just add water, instant community, and realized that we had to be willing for it to take some time, and that we had to make some steps and some effort to be able to connect, so that it wasn't really a rejection of the church or the people here. It was just a comfort zone issue for us, and being willing to let it be more of a slow cooker process than a microwave process, which is not always fun. We really get the connect to God, connect to others, connect to the world, but we're not always a straight line kind of family. So probably the first part of really becoming a part of things was watching my 4 teenagers get involved in youth ministry. They got excited about what was going on there, started to become regularly attending the different programs there, and I got involved in a little bit of service kind of behind the scenes through the youth ministry, and got to know a few more people and started asking questions. And it's been a long process because we haven't looked at it as we need to make sure we get through all these 3 steps because we're here now. We've been a little more calm about recognizing, okay, we don't know exactly where we fit, but we know we fit. So we're willing to take the time to find out exactly what God's best is for us right now. One of the really helpful processes, Jeff and I both participated in a leadership class with Pastor Ed and about 30 other people. Really helpful to get the big picture. This church is about making sure that people fully engage in the life that God has for them. And I think the way that that's communicated sounds simple, but it's very effective. It's that you connect to God through worship on a Sunday morning or Sunday evening, or a worship service here where you are worshiping Him corporately. Obviously, you worship Him privately too, but you're learning about Him and engaging in worship with other people. Then you take it a step further and become actively involved in connecting with other believers who are on the journey with you. And by being a part of a connection group, then there's accountability, there's encouragement. You basically help carry each other's burdens and kind of spur each other on in this race. And then you connect to the world through serving through your passion and interest areas and your giftedness, because each one of us has different skills and a different heart that God designed for us to be able to utilize to do His work here. And I think SPBC and the pastors here really have a heart that we know God and that we love Him and we walk that out, but that we encourage and love each other in the process. And then we reach the world for Christ by walking that out in our everyday life.